There's no hard and fast criteria for choosing the situation or critical incident for your case, but there's some key criteria. So let's look at those and illustrate them, and if you follow them, you should get pretty much there. Firstly, the incident must involve some moral dilemma, where there's often emotional and very contested opinions about the case situation, and certainly with respect to how it was or might be resolved. Now, around contested opinions, there's going to be value judgments, and that's one of the key things that we saw in episode 1, that cases are particularly good for getting students to think and also to look at values in relation to perception, beliefs and decision making. So does the case involve the identification, examination of important values in relation to key topic areas that you're covering and connect to the learning outcomes? It's really important to get that one right. Invariably, does it have interest for students? If it doesn't, and they can't identify with it in any kind of cognitive or especially emotional way, it may not be motivating. And if there's no interest, there's little effort and little learning. As mentioned, and this is fundamental to cases, does it get students using key types of thinking, analysing the situation, looking at a range of opinions, evidence sources if you like, and making inferences, interpretation, because this is involved in building understanding and getting students to really engage with the content in an authentic way, or as authentic as possible outside of the real world situation. And bound up with contested opinions is at the end of the day, whatever the decisions that have been taken, if you like, the resolution of the case, and maybe it's not resolved, but does it require those difficult choices and leaving the stakeholders, might be yourself, unsatisfied with the decisions made? Now, here's an example that will contextualise this from my own experience as a teacher. For a period of time, amongst other things, at an educational institution, I was the AIDS counsellor, HIV counsellor, whatever you want to call it. And I had a situation where a student, female student, actually confided in me that she was HIV positive. And I was working with her to help her make certain choices that she had to make. However, over the course of time, it became very apparent that this student became very promiscuous. You can work what that means yourself in terms of particular behaviour. But it became a moral dilemma for me because I knew something about her, e.g. she was HIV positive. And what she was doing was putting other people's health at serious risk. And that really made me think in terms of my own kind of value standpoints. Do I stick with confidentiality as the counsellor, or do I look at wider health-related human conduct issues, safety of the students and other people who might be involved? And this was a really difficult one for me. It certainly got me thinking. It was certainly relevant to my role, and in using this case with trainee teachers, it's certainly relevant to learning outcomes to do with managing yourself, emotional intelligence, confidentiality. Was I left with difficult choices? The resolution, was I happy about it? No, not really. I'm not going to go into the specifics, but I've just used that case as an illustration of a critical incident that pretty much met these kind of criteria in terms of a case study for teachers who are working with young adults.